I absolutely agree with the point that ma'am mentioned about the fact that there should be public enrage. But I think that is not enough for the justice to be executed because I think there have been plenty of cases. For example, the Nirbhaya case, there was plenty of rage among the people of our country. However, still that case took 7 years to get justice for the victim. And I think the problem that lies is in the way that our judiciary system functions. There's essentially 21 judges for every million people in India, and that ratio in itself is pretty scary. We have so many vacancies in the position of judges, yet we're not able to fulfill them. So I think the point is more about the fact that this is the flaw in the way that that our judicial system is structured, and that even though we have so many vacancies, we are not able to provide high quality judges and fast track courts that will be able to deal with these kind of situations. Yesterday, in the case of Archikar Medical College, CBI failed to file a charge sheet against the Professor Sandeep Ghosh, and the parents gave a statement that they are not satisfied with the judicial system.
The thing I want to add one thing about the 1984 that you mentioned, there was a case of Sikh riots in India. It took about 2 decades to proceed, and still only High Court has given the conviction about the one prisoner for the lifetime, and it still shows a lack of trust and the increased the monetary policy. The increased amount of money which is spent on the cases, as well as the riots are again and again increasing in India just because to get better justice in India about the riots, not about the riot, the Nirbhaya case that you mentioned, the Sikh riot case you mentioned, and the backlog cases which are still going on in India in the several parts of district courts as well.
One more point I want to add, like if we see economic perspective, like a lot of money is means pushed into solving cases and all these things. And if justice is denied, then it will also affect the economical perspective, economical position of a country. Like if there is a country where crime is increasing, so like if I'm a foreign investor, I will not put my money in that country because I will be having a distress, because anytime my money will be lost. So there will be a, I mean, I want to link this justice denied topic with FDI. Like people will not put investment in your country if there is no justice, because suppose if something wrong happens, obviously they will not get justice. So why will they put money?
I think that point is absolutely valid, but I think the point of this discussion should be that we all know that there is a massive mistrust among in the judicial system of our country. But I think what we should be contemplating upon is how can we solve this issue, because this is a persistent issue and it's not something new that has recently come up. I mean, the recent case of the Bangalore IT guy who took his own life because there was a false case lodged by his wife. So these are just a lot of examples that there is a lack of trust in the system. But I think what we should contemplate upon is how we can fix those. And I think one of the reasons could be is that there is a lot of corruption in our system, and that the police who are there to help us, they are also involved in bribery, and they are also include in mishandling of evidences, the witnesses being intimidated, so that the people who even want to contribute to significant justice being attained, but they're not able to actually do that because of the intimidation and brute force by the police and other factors. So I think we should contemplate more about why or how we can fix it rather than fixating upon why there is a lack of trust.
I totally agree, and one of the solution to that problem can be transparency in the proceedings, because that is a very important criteria for increasing the trust among the citizens. Also, for there is a disparity between who can access who has an access to the justice system, because those who are more economically well off and more powerful find it easier to dominate the system. We can solve that issue by creating awareness among the people from lower strata of how they can use their rights and their duties for availing the same.
Of course, but this loops back to the point of that there is a lack of awareness among the people, and I think that the primary reason for that is lack of education. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, the problem of a lot of vacancies that exist for the judges, that in itself is also a problem of the education system that we're not able to provide high quality judges for our courts, despite there being numerous vacancies. I mean, we see in different government exams that there are a very few vacancies, a handful of vacancies, and hundreds and thousands and millions of people apply for those posts. However, we're still not able to provide good quality justice to our citizens, and I think that is a fundamental flaw in the structuring of our entire country. So I think
one point I want to add, like you are saying, if we provide good education, then there will be decrease in crime care and all this. So, what you have to say about those people who are educated but still immoral? They are the only one who are breaking laws.
Of
They are
course,
breaking
but-
laws and they are breaking laws.
right, I absolutely agree with you. Sorry, go on.
One thing I want to say is, like, apart from providing good education, we have to make people morally and ethically strong. Like, people are morally and ethically weak. They get, they get, pressurized, or under circumstances,
Right.
they do those things which should not be done by. And even I'm talking about IS officers. There are plenty of cases in IS cadre also, who are well educated and, like, more educated than us. Still, they are doing those things.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree with that point. However, I think the point that you're missing out is that, of course, there are going to be good and bad people, but I think the concept of why people misuse their education or their positions of power essentially lies in the fact that there is a lot of corruption in our system because the justice is not served. That is why citizens are inclined to take bribes from the people who commit these crimes, and that is why the people who are the perpetrators of the crime, they're able to shut the mouths of the witnesses who can actually help the justice system in convicting those exact people.
I think there is also discrimination existing in terms of caste and religion.
But the seed of corruption comes from greed and nepotism. So actually everything boils down to moral and ethical values. Like if a person has a, like, morally sound and ethically sound, he will, even if he is not educated, he will not do any such thing like corruption or anything. He will not go against his moral value. But suppose if a person is well educated and everything, and he lacks those moral values, the ethical values, the justice, prudence, then I'm sure at any point of time in their life, he is going to commit.
Of course,
such
I
crimes.
absolutely
In the
agree.
summarizing all the facts that my mate given and you have also given, that the degradation of the evidences and the lack of judiciary and the time needed for the justice is itself on some points that it gives motive for the bribe as well as the corruption in the society and as well in the officers too, because the more richer the person is, he can degrade the evidence in the time given, because if the justice will be given in the time and the evidences are there with the court and nobody can touch them, so I think it will be the better point of view to the court that victims can get a better uh, about the hearing of in the court as well.
But in some cases, if the court is taking time because they want to collect more accurate data, there are many other things from which they can easily solve the case by, like. Also, we need to limit the political interference that interferes with courts processing.
One more major point
Last
that
minute.
we all missed is like the number of judges pertaining every case is very less. So maybe what the government can do in this situation is maybe provide some incentive to people to educate them to pursue more towards the law careers and law aspects. So there would be more judges.
So summarizing all the points.
Okay,
that
first
we
let me take
discussed.
the opinion of the people.
Adding to the discussion, I want to add that people themselves, true to them and true to their work, can lead to a smooth functioning to give justice to the victims, and victims themselves suffers a lot. They got their mental trauma of not getting justice on that time, because they too are given a perspective of getting wrong when they are true to them and they have not committed anything wrong, again then they get a eye of getting wrong in that position because of the delayed justice. So I think people themselves true to them and true to their work, especially in the legal case, or having the witnesses to them and having the evidences, because people surrounding the where the that crime commit, there are people surrounded by that, and if they have witnessed anything or they get an evidence, and if they help the legal system to just get justice, they can do that. So I think
So basically, you are saying about the psychological.
Okay, let those people speak who have not spoken, right? Gaurang or
In my opinion, in India, where companies are committing 10 to 15 minutes delivery and everything is fast forwarding, then why not the pending 4.5 crore cases are being solved? I do agree that cases are not the ones who are getting fast forwarded or should be get fast forwarded, but there must be a certain deadline for each case. 70-year-old, the land case of Ayodhya, it is not justified that the people who are fighting for that case will wait for 70 years. It will just drain out the not only the financials of the country, but the financials of the individual as well. And all the point that were put up like draining of financials and fading away of the evidences all hold true, and hence I think that uh, justice delayed is justice denied.
Piyush, you want to speak something?
I think it is important that there should be speedy trials given, and there should be a deadline for the cases, because there can be negative impact on the victims as well, and they may suffer through psychological problems, and they may feel helpless and neglected. So speedy trials can be one solution to it, and giving deadlines to the courts for particular cases depending on their severity can be one thing which can be done. And by saying that everyone has said that there can be degradation of evidences which can be done, and there can be financial drain out, and individuals may not feel that their rights are being protected and they are being given justice in untimely. So there can be speedy trials which can be given to people.